Like when you care, you do damage control. When you don't care, you don't. You know what I mean? Like,
perfect.
you know,
Perfect.
like
yeah, exactly.
like if you put the blame on everybody else, you don't have to do any damage control. But if you accept some of the blame, then you have to kind of do what you can to
Fix it,
help
make it
or
look
make
better.
right, or at least give speaking ground for people. Know what I mean? Like, you don't want to hush people up. You want to open them up. You want them to talk. You know, it's not
See,
time.
there's good conversation right there.
It's not time for everybody to shut up.
Oh, we're
It's
going on? Alrighty, here we go. Welcome back. I got Jimbo in the house, and we're just talking and filling in time because Jimbo, that's what we do. We're on our 500th straight video, and what happened is me and Jolene wanted to invite Jimbo over because he's been a big part of what we're doing here. And basically, if you caught some of that conversation, I think Jolene was filming, I'm not sure, but basically what Jimbo was saying, that we don't have to modify the videos to be happy with ourselves because that's who we are. And basically that's what I mean by showing the real. But what I'm going to do today, and we're going to take our time doing it, it might be an hour, it might be 2 hours, but this is our 500th episode, and it's going to be what it's going to be. We're going to have easy conversation. Jimbo's got a big cup of coffee. Jolene made him a cup of coffee this morning. I'm happy to have him here, and I wish that Jolene could got in on it, and she would have, but we only got 2 mics, and maybe I can turn the camera on her after a little bit just to, well, she's shaking her head no, but she would if I asked her to. I know she would. But basically what's going on today, Jimbo's here for conversation. I'm going to take my time to make a cover for this console, and I'll show you what I did yesterday. And while I'm doing certain things, maybe Jimbo can have a conversation with whoever, me.
between the grinding.
Between the grinding, yeah.
Yeah.
Between the grinding. Basically, what I got going on here on the bottom of it, we put the piece on the bottom last night. I cut this shape out of it so it'll fit in the console. Haven't tried it yet, but we're going to. And basically, what I was saying to get that welded and ground off, the way you have to get it ground off is you really have to make it fit right. So basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a cover for it. And the cover, what I'm thinking of the cover, I'm going to do the cover is I'm going to make it go with this. I'm not going to try to make it flat. If I make it flat, it just kind of would look flat. I'm going to make it on an angle. I like it on the angle. They have theirs on the angle. I'm going to go with it, what the hey. And I'm going to make a cover for it. And yeah, I'm going to round this. I'm going to make it round here, round there.
That's your armrest?
It's going to be my armrest.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make a cover that has 4 round corners. So I'm going to do round this way. You know what I mean? So it's going to go round here.
Difficult.
Kind of, isn't it? It's going to, I'm not going to make it difficult, but if someone was thinking about making it, it would be difficult.
I could make it difficult.
Well, there you go. That's why we have Jimbo in the house.
I'm pretty sure of it.
I'm pretty sure of it. So we're going to try to make it as simple as possible, hopefully. What I'm going to do first, though, I think I'm going to do is line the inside. I don't want anything sharp on that. So I'm going to line the inside with ramrod, and I'm going to just tack it all together, and then I'll weld it up in the end. So like I tacked the bottom piece on here. I even filled in the back. And the back was quite easy. I just cut that off, stuck a piece of paper on it, traced it off at the bottom where that piece was, and then when I traced this up in here, cut my piece of metal that wide, and then I zip cut it across the back and butt weld it together, so that went fairly easy. That was fairly easy.
Can you make the lid in one piece and then bend the edges around to suit you, or?
I think that
sounds hard.
I think that's the hardest way.
Oh yeah, that's the way I'd do it. The hardest way possible.
Well, I'm going to do it in I'm going to do it in how many pieces? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Like
5.
if your junk pile had the curves,
Yeah.
you could fit them together and then put a plate in the middle.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? Like if you could find half moon kind of curve, you could make the outer edge from your junk pile like a curve that suits you and fits, and then just put a deck on top.
Yeah. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to have it probably at least an inch high. So I'm going to have it an inch high, so it's going to have like an inch roll on it. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try, this is my plan, to make a piece come up and have a round shape here, come back, have a round shape here.
Yeah, and round on the side.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to make it narrow. Like I'm going to make that piece narrow first. Then I'm going to go in there and I'll bend a piece of metal round, and then I'll cut it to length, and then I'll add this piece to it, if you know what I'm trying to say. So it's going to go like this, like that. On the side, I'm going to go in there and take a long piece and bend it round, and I'll cut it, and then I'll put this round edge, I'll cut that piece off and mold it to it.
Geez, you could, like, it's going to be strong enough, you could almost use 20 gauge metal and just bend it around the edges and then reinforce it afterwards. Make it all in one piece.
I could, but I'm not going to.
Okay. No, this is your piece of art. I wasn't really involved with it, so.
Did you want to make one with me? You're more.
Oh, kind of like I make one and you make one and see how it turns out.
it could go that way if you
but
want.
If I think I have a clue what's going on, make my own and then bring it out and see if I can beat you.
Well, I don't want you to beat me or nothing, but you can if you want to. But basically, I'm going to make one piece. Then it's going to be, this edge is going to be 2. That's going to be 3. And then here at the corners where it's got to go round, I'm going to cut a pie shape and put a piece in there. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 pieces it's going to be made out of to make the cover. 7 pieces. And you would make it out of 1?
I believe so. I'd go to the junk pile first and find the half moon edge. And well,
I'm going to go for it as we talk about it. I'm going to go for it.
You're the master builder on all this, so you're used to what works and what doesn't. So if you got an idea or a vision of how you're going to do it,
oh yeah,
you would have it 3/4 done before I'd even start.
Well, like there's a thing there, that thing, but we don't skin cats anymore. We skin rabbits.
Yeah,
there's more than one way to skin a rabbit.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's more ways to do it. I mean, you would make it out of one piece. You're thinking like.
Well, it seems easier to me, but at the same time, there's a lot of spots that it wouldn't really work out for me.
Okay. Yeah, on the corners is where you would have a hard time.
Yes, I would.
So like it would be easy to get this piece bent, but how do you bend this piece on this?
Well, the corners, if you had like metal marbles in the corners and then cut the inside out.
Metal marbles.
No,
I got them up here.
Like a circle.
All right, this is what I'm going to do.
No,
I'm going to.
I don't always have a clue, so don't listen to me too closely.
Jimbo, that's the part of doing things, man. Yeah. Everybody does it different. That's the part of doing it. I'm going to get a 3-inch piece. Maybe I should. Basically, what I'm going to do first. This is what I'm going to do first. I'm going to line the inside of this with round rod because I don't want anything in there that's sharp. When you open the cover up, I don't want that sharp edge. I want a piece of nice round rod in there. And I'm going to do that in 4 pieces. So I'm going to do that as quick as possible. And Jim, you're allowed to critique anytime you want to because that's what it's about. Critiquing or thinking of something different. What's Jimbo want? Piece of metal?
No. I'm just.
Oh, you're going to hand me the cord.
Yep.
You have your seat and have a coffee, brother. Have a coffee.
Oh, no, I'm good. I just got up to stretch my legs.
Have a chill. And we might see when like, you know, we're going to take a little time off, we might see if Jimbo will come over on maybe once or twice a week, and he can be a cameo appearance once or twice a week when we get back and start the videos up again. People enjoy your conversation. A lot of people have been asking.
Well, I'm not going to take care of your show while you're gone.
Well, you
like
we never thought of that. You probably could though. Oh, did you? Jolene was thinking about hiring Jim on to take care of the show while we were gone.
Well, I'm going to surprise Chad. While he's gone, I'm going to paint his car for him. Now, let me see. Which gun did he use?
That would be funny.
Yeah. Oh, dear. I forgot to put hardener in it.
All right. I'm going to take and do this.
Anybody wants to help me out here before Chad gets home, I got to wash this car down and do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
We've all done that. Have we washed a car down that we've messed up? Oh my. That's a mess, isn't it, Jimbo?
Yeah.
I've done that before. A lot of rags, a lot of mess, a lot of time. Sometimes it's whether if you just leave it and sand it down again, but the runs are so hard to get out when you sand it, you know?
Well, it's like doing motor work when the motor's on the bench. It's easy.
Yeah.
But once it's in the car, it's a different story. Like
Yeah.
there's some things you've got to make sure are right before you put it in the car.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Smedley. Well, so this show today could be an hour, it could be 2 hours. It's just going to be what it's going to be, but I'm going to make a cover for that, and then we're going to call the console metalwork finished. After the metalwork's finished, it goes to the body shop, and the body shop is me. Did you have your breakfast this morning yet, Jim?
No, I brought it with me.
He bought his breakfast. Look at that now, would you? Huh? Now. He's eating on the run. Yeah, I'm going to knock the edge off that a little bit just because I'm going to plug. I got a 2-pronger thing here somewhere right there. Plug the other grinder in.
Oh, that's cool. I've never seen one of them before.
I've got a few of them, Jimbo. I could
Oh,
probably
that's
pass
neat.
1 or 2 on to you.
Wow. No,
Got
I've
a few
never
of them. Quite a few people have sent them in, and
Yeah.
we use them. It's just
Wow, that's cool. Like an octopus.
there you go, an octopus. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get creative with putting this in here. I could try to bend those corners with the round rod, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a straight one in, bend a little tiny bit and add it together, and I can weld the corner together to make it look nice.
Yep. Oh,
Basically what I'm trying to say is I can weld the corner to make it look nice. But basically I just want to put this in here to I should have put my helmet. I got my helmet on my head. I just didn't put it down. So basically, I'm going to line that with some round bar first.
well, you're so good at it, you don't even need your eyes open.
Just put it where it is. It's kind of a MIG welder. Is kind of, you're used to a torch, are you not? You haven't. Have you got a MIG welder?
Yeah, I do, but I don't use it.
Well, there you go. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, Jimbo's a torch kind of guy. And see, I would never. I've never used a torch, so kind of for me.
I was never really taught how to use the MIG the proper way, so I had difficulties with it.
Don't look at it, okay?
No, I never.
Well, you can if you want, but you won't see good tonight.
It's all right to have it in your vision, but don't look straight at it. Like, it's all right that you can see it off the side of your eye.
Well,
It's your pupil straight on that gets burned.
I'm not sure about that one either. Be careful.
No, I've been around arc welding. As long as you don't focus right on it, if you're looking at a few inches away, like a foot or two away, it's the direct contact with your pupil. Like, you can get flashed from a long ways away if you look directly at it.
You sure can.
But if you look slightly off, you're usually all right.
I know what you're saying. Just trying to plant the round bar in the right spot for, what can I say, for what do I, so when I grind it off, I can grind it off so you can't see the weld, basically. Basically, get a little bit going on there. And this helps straighten out the console, the bar does. I got a little vise here from Dale Beaver dropped in. You met that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he dropped me off
a
a
nice
vise, so I'm going to use it right at the present moment. Yeah. And it's here on the floor. I'm just going to stick it in there. Just bend it a little bit because I got a little bit of a bend on that one. You'd be on your torch on that one, you Jimbo.
But if you walk into a room when someone's welding and it catches you by surprise and you look, just always get the habit not to look right in. Just look in that direction, but don't go in and look as such. Like stop yourself short and look halfway. And you see the flash, but you're not looking at it. And you probably won't get flashed.
It's hard not to.
But if you look right in like a child would, you're going to get burnt.
Like a child would.
Because you don't actually have to look away, I don't believe.
Well, we'll find out tonight when you go home tonight.
Yeah.
You can't.
I've been around it all my life. So
Jimbo, that might not be a bad idea if I go away or take off for a little bit and you paint my car, because I know you can buff it.
Yeah.
That might not be a bad idea. I'd almost go for that, buddy. I'd almost go for that. Just sticking that in there like that.
Well, I've proven to myself it's better to do a good job from the start and not have to buff it.
Is that where you're at nowadays? Is that what you're thinking? Woo! Getting a little barbaric there, but just trying to fit that in there. If I had to bend them corners over there in the vise, it would take me more time. I'm thinking it would anyways, instead of me just cutting 4 pieces that will fit. So basically what I'm thinking is I'm going to stick that in there. I've got some gap going around there, but that's where I get creative with the coat hanger and the welder, and I fill that in, grind it off nice, and I can make those corners round. I can weld that nice, do a good job on that. Yes, I can. What was your plan today, Jimbo, before we got a hold of you? What was you doing?
What was you going to do with your day?
Not beat myself up.
Try not to beat yourself up.
Yeah, yeah. It's just
Other people will do that for you, bye.
yeah.
Other people do that for you. You don't have to worry about that. Other people do that for you.
I got my carburetor pieces out for the Oldsmobile. I got to take carburetor back off because the float's a little bit too high.
Yeah.
Or too low. It's still a little bit too much gas. It leaks out around the top.
So you were going to fix that today?
Well, no, I was going to study it. It's
He's going to study
it's proven to be complicated.
it. Yeah.
When I bend it to try to raise the float a little tiny bit, it makes the tab jam the needle,
Okay.
and it doesn't like that adjustment. So I got to kind of study it a little bit to see if I can make it work a little better.
So you're not having a good time with it, in other words.
I've had the carburetor off at least 7 times.
You're not a quitter, in other words, either. Are you?
Well, I give it plenty of time in between.
I kept trying to say the other day we were over there,
Right.
and you made me laugh, and you said, I take quite
Comfort.
comfort in less to do.
Yeah.
I couldn't, I laughed quite a bit over that. I take quite comfort in less to do. I think Jolene
A lot of comfort in less to do.
I think Jolene corrected. How many times did you correct me, sweetheart, when I tried to say that? Oh, at least a dozen or 2 dozen.
You know, and it's kind of an important thing to remember too.
It is.
You know,
Let's face it, it is. Sometimes you need to take comfort in less to do. So true. That's how you get a break, isn't it?
yep.
That's how you get a break. Take great comfort in less to do. Have to remember that.
Well, I never had that attitude when I was younger. You know, that's more recent.
More recent attitude?
Yeah. Like what I hate is when I work on one thing and it takes me a long time, like a year or 2. The only thing that's successful in my life is that one thing. Everything else sits there with dirt on it. You know, like nothing else gets done. So while I'm walking towards this one project I'm working on, I'm walking by other projects and other things that are calling my name, and I'm ignoring them, and they're covered with like other jobs on top of them, and you know, it's depressing.
It can
So,
get depressing when you
yeah.
got too many things to do.
You know, when you only work on one thing, that one thing pays back. Everything else kind of haunts me. So I've learned to get rid of a lot of stuff. So I'm not walking by so many projects that aren't done to get to the one I'm working on.
Yep.
You know,
I understand. I'm just marking that to get that in there. And let's put a little bit of bend on that because it's got a little bit of bend in the back. And that'll make it nicer. You know, if you put your hand inside the console, it's nice and round in there. Nothing sharp. I'll finish the corners in with welds later. But sure you don't want to make a cover while I'm making one?
if I had a little more energy, I'd take you up on that. But
And it's also...
honestly, I'm a little burned out.
In all honesty, it's nice to have your own tools too when you're doing something like have your own shop, your own place, your own, you know.
I know when I work on something, almost every tool I own is out.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I've come to learn that the less tools to get something done makes it easier. I find the more tools you drag into your situation, sometimes the harder it gets, or the longer it takes. You know, if I drag more tools into to do something,
like unless you had no choice. Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Basically,
for one thing, your system here where you don't need vice grips to hold everything in place. Your torch work, like your welding, like this right here, if you were using a torch, you'd have to have vice grips, and that takes extra time.
It does, doesn't it?
Big time.
I know. That's why, you know,
Like some of your work, you got to use clamps and stuff, and it takes quite a bit of time to get things just right.
Like I've had a lot of people say, get on, move on to the TIG welder. Well, you really have to get set up really good. You really have to get set up, and it takes time to get set up with that TIG welder because you're using both hands. You generally have to be comfortable. It's sort of like the torch, like the MIG welder. I can just put it all together and not worry about anything, And that's why I'm kind of hooked on the MIG welder. And I guess you said it the best. It's the quickest form of welding in the world.
Yeah. And it obviously doesn't warp anything.
Well, if you keep the air with you.
Yep.
I'm just going to tack it in here.
I'm good. Now I'm just going to
Like
run.
the number one biggest problem with a torch is if you have to weld thin metal anywhere to thicker metal. Oh, it's poison.
Okay.
Like if you're just welding thin metal, you can be pretty careful and quick about it and the blowgun and stuff and do it right. Mm-hmm. You can almost get away with it. But if you got some thick metal like that square stock you use, that is absolutely forbidden with a torch.
With
a torch.
With sheet metal.
Yeah, with sheet metal. You got to overheat things so bad the square stock even warps.
Yeah.
Like you got to turn the whole square stock red hot in order to weld to it. It's really bad.
I'm just going to knock the tops off of this. Just give it something. Just knock the tops off so I don't cut myself and give it just a nice little spot to go with. That's basically the inside of that, so nothing would be sharp. And I'm going to paint this piece because I've taken the time to make a nice piece. I'm not going to wrap it. I think that would take a lot more work to wrap it. I want to paint it the same as the car and use the 3 different colors on it. I think that will be very enjoyable. So now I guess I'm going to make the cover. Also, I'm going to make the cover on this video, but also when I make the cover, I'm also going to line the cover with the ramrod so they both are nice to deal with. I grabbed some metal out of the scrap pile back there. When I'm going to do this, I want a round edge on. I want a round edge on this side. I want a round edge here. I want a round edge on this side. I want a round edge on this side, and I want a round edge on this side. And the corners are going to be round. So to make it out of one piece, you would be doing a lot of shrinking. You would have to cut it somewhere and shrink it. You might be able to take a piece of metal. You might be good enough with a torch. You could take a piece of wood and just shape it with a grinder and lay the piece of metal on top of it and tap it all around.
Just notch it and bang it around, and then just weld the corners and grind it. Yeah. Because see, one thing about the torch, you can fill in with your weld and mold, and things don't have to line up. But with like how you do it, quite often you have things fitting a lot closer.
Yeah.
To make like you have to do better work with your metal when you do this.
MIG welder.
When the torch, you can go in and have things all loose and jabby and pick up little scraps and throw in there and mold things all back and forth, like flood it with metal.
Yeah.
Make the whole surface with the rod. When you do that with the MIG, and you're doing a lot of extra work.
Yeah. So this is what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take I've got a 5-inch piece for the top, so I'm not going to make it my top piece 5 inches. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take an inch on either side. So I'm going to make a 3-inch strip, go all the way from here down to there, and that's going to leave me room to weld on the side angle and this side angle. So I got a 5. I got a 5 there, and I'm going to make a 3. So I'm going to make a 3-inch strip. And we're going to make it 16 long. That'll give me enough to round this end and enough to round that end. 3 by 16. Well, this is a nice, easy day. Nice easy day. See what I mean by what I'm doing there, Jimbo? I'm almost be done this thing. I think I said that a person could build that in a day. Well, that was not the truth. That was not the truth. Then I said probably 2 days. In hindsight, you're 2 days you'd be really humping her, but yeah, 2 days you'd be really humping her. I guess I put the shifter in there. That took some time, but 2 days to build that, you would really be humping her to get it done.
Well, that console was actually as big a job as you did on the floor in that Oldsmobile.
Pretty well.
You know, like some detail takes quite a bit more time than straightforward if you can do it. Like the size doesn't really matter. It's the complicatedness of it.
Yeah, it's like me. I said I did a mini Austin one time, and I said I could do it quicker. But that's not the truth. I had to slow down because everything was so fine and small. Everything had to be done by hand.
The detail, yeah. You're a constant detail. There was no easy big areas.
Exactly. Like putting a quarter panel on a car, that's easy. You just weld down the long quarter panel and grind it off and fill it. But you get a little piece on a mini Austin, a little piece like that down on the quarter panel. You can't do no block work. You get the grinder has to be smaller. You have to have a smaller grinder. It just becomes.
And if you have, say, 3 of those little pieces, you're there way longer than putting a quarter panel on.
Exactly. That's basically where it was at. It kind of fooled me, and I learned from that just because it's smaller.
The biggest thing, like in your construction, is if you have the vision of where you're going.
Yeah. That's
as good as done.
It sort of is somewhat.
Not sort of. You already make up your mind, and it's as good as done. You just put in the time, and it's complete.
Yeah.
You know, but if you don't have the vision, it doesn't matter what your plan. You don't have a plan. You're not gonna get headway on it. Like,
I'm listening for sure. But I have to have a vision of how I'm going to make that cover.
Yeah.
I had to think about it, how I'm going to make it. And the cover's in, like, basically, this is what I'm making. That's the cover on, that's the cover they had. So I got this edge, that edge, and that edge. And it kind of told me, like, once I get this piece, then I can weld this piece on. And then I can weld this piece on. I'm gonna pie cut the corners, so the corners come from small.
Oh, you should be showing her, but
I'm showing you. I'm talking to you. Oh. That's basically what I'm doing right there, building the car. This is about me and you, Jimbo. It's not about. This is about me and you. Me hanging out, building something, making something, having our day. Basically, when we're doing this sort of stuff, we allow everybody to watch, but it's basically about us, is it not? Basically, I would say it's what we're doing. That's. I guess you were explaining that before we even started. We're basically doesn't matter what everybody else thinks. We're just kind of doing what we need to do. I'm going to cut this bad boy off, and I'm going to do it in the shear because it'll do it straight. I'm going to put my glasses on for the hell of it. I think I got a little bit of coffee left to 500 episodes. I think that's quite a feat myself. Everyday content, and even if we're doing car stuff and building stuff and that sort of stuff, it's also, for me, it's also to show that it's okay to make a mistake, because we make mistakes here all the time, or I make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. And that's why we're able to say we don't. Watch your foot, sweetheart. Everybody makes mistakes. And I think we prove that all the time here. I'm going to keep the piece that I want. So, if you're building something, and I was talking, you're building something, and it's not going that well, and you make a mistake, don't give up. Don't give up. Just realize that, hey, I make mistakes, so that means that, I don't know what it means, but don't give up. You're allowed to make as many mistakes as you want to. That's what life's about. There's my 3-inch piece. I'm going to bend it. I got my 3-inch piece now. Now I want my bend for the front and I want my bend for the back. And I'm just going to actually just walk around here for a second and look something for small enough to bend it on. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here on this bad boy machine. That's the easiest way to bend something to me. That's the easiest way. Gives a nice little bend, does it, Jimbo?
Yeah, smooth, quick.
Yeah, nice and smooth,
Yeah.
quick. We're going from there. I need my marker. We're going from there. And I want my bend to start back here, I think, somewhere. And we're going to bend that down around. How far is that one? Maybe I need to go up a little further. We'll see. We'll bend it and see what happens, basically. So you're going to put brakes on your Oldsmobile?
Truthfully,
You only speak the truth, don't you, Jimbo?
I don't want to spend any money on it.
I can't say as I blame you, but...
But I need wheel cylinders and master brake cylinder and brake lines, flex lines. I have shoes and hubs, but that's all. The shoes aren't bad and the hubs are good, but everything else, and see, that from the States, that's like $1,500, $2,000 for what I just said, to buy 57 Oldsmobile stuff. You know, and my wheel cylinders are Nova Scotia. They're badly, badly pitted inside, so they'd almost have to go to a machine shop to be drilled out one size bigger. And you can't buy kits in Canada. So kits are quite a bit of money from the States, and wheel cylinders add up to about $500. They're like $200 for wheel cylinders, American, which is darn near $500 here. So I don't want to spend $500 for 4 wheel cylinders.
Can you modify, like a Chev truck?
That's a lot more work. But yes.
It comes back that less to do.
Yeah. Know what I mean? Like, to modify and make something else work is way more work than buying the right part, but it's cheaper.
For sure, but I'm just saying, you can get a wheel cylinder for a truck for like probably.
But I'm kind of, I got to have brakes. I've already learned not to drive the car without brakes. I drove it twice and had 2 accidents. So, I know I got to have brakes. I did find out that transmission does not have park.
Yeah.
It's a hydromatic. You put it in reverse, and there's something there that acts as park. And then, but it doesn't come with park.
I'm gonna cut it off.
If we can elaborate on doing things right and wrong for a minute,
I don't know when to
I
go
had
there.
a leak in the radiator, which I tried to solder and I failed. It leaked real bad, so I took it in the house and I put it on the wood stove. And I went up to the store and bought 40 tubes of super glue, and I put 2 or 3 tubes in through the fins of the radiator every day. Put the radiator on the wood stove till it got up to 200 degrees, took it off, cooled it down, put it back on the stove, back off, and after 6 weeks I ran out of tubes. And I filled it up with water and it doesn't leak.
Good man.
So it's on the car and it's got antifreeze, it's not leaking, and it may be a temporary fix, but it's not the right way to do it. But
it worked?
Well, it might not work in the future, but it's holding. But I put 40 tubes of super glue down through the fins all around that solder job, in around, and just filled it, plugged it salt full of super glue and let it dry. But I put it on the wood stove, let it get top temperature, took it off, cooled it down, put it back on the stove, back and forth, and poured the glue in from front and poured the glue in from the back. and it might work.
It might.
But the other choice is spend at least $1,000 for a recore.
Yeah.
Because see, the problem is the radiator has the bottom pipes on the driver's side. Everybody else is the bottom pipes on the other side.
Yeah.
And it's a square radiator. Most radiators are wide and skinny, and it doesn't fit in the car. So, like,
I wonder if that car there's got brake.
you know, I don't need, like, it's holding antifreeze,
Yeah.
and it may work. You know, I don't know, but it's not the proper way to fix it. But
Who says?
you know, sometimes temporary fixes last the life of the car.
Come on in, Fina. Come on in.
And sometimes fixing it properly doesn't last a day, you know, so
There
I
you
don't
go.
know.
What I'm looking for.
All I know is I am really trying not to spend money. Know what I mean? Like,
I like your prognosis already.
know.
I'm really trying not to spend money. All right, this is
the
what I'm
only
going to
reason why I have any money is because I'm not spending it.
what I'm doing right now, I got the top piece folded down. I got this piece folded down. I got it sort of fitting there. Now I want this piece on this side, this piece on this side. So what I'm looking for now is I'm looking for a little longer or a little wider piece of metal. I could take
You
that
don't
piece.
like hammering.
Well, hammering makes
Yeah,
makes
you
a
don't
mess.
like hammering, and you have total success with your welding.
Yeah.
So you bend it the easy way, and then you weld it.
Yeah.
And no hammering.
I don't like to hammer anything because obviously
Yeah.
you know what the hammer's doing.
You know,
It's
because
either
the way
deadening
I'd be doing it,
or
I'd be
stretching
molding it with a hammer.
Yeah.
You know,
Well-
and it would look like it came from a blacksmith shop in the 1800s.
and that's the way it was done for many years,
Yeah.
and it still can be done that way. There's nothing says it can't be done
Yeah.
that way. It's just I'm doing it this way because I have a
No,
MIG
you're.
welder.
No,
this piece
you've
of-
proven this is the way to do it.
This piece of metal here, I can't get it in there and bend it. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for that roll right here. I'm going to bend a long piece, that roll, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the roll off and add it to this because the roll will be in the metal.
Oh, so the wide metal gives you a handle.
Right.
And then you bend it, then you cut it out.
Right, so I'm just looking for a wider piece of metal, that's all. And I'm not going to rush because this is our day, Jimbo. This is our day, brother. This is our day. All right, so basically this is what I'm going to do. I'll make one of this piece because I think I have a long enough piece. That's long enough. It'd be nice to have both pieces out of the same piece, but do you know what I'm trying to say? It'd be nice to have it long enough that I could just cut the roll in half and I'd have the same roll on both sides. But I think we're going to be okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I got a straight edge going here. No, I'm going to knock that off. I got a little tit right there that won't let me down in there. I'm going to knock that off. Or just flatten it out with my hammy. That stopped me, Jimbo. That's not straight. I'm going to go straighten this on the shear down there because I
That's
can.
not long enough to get both of them at the same
Just
time.
one. I'm not going to.
You could cut that little edge off this sheet. And is that long enough to reach both?
Let me know. Because we're only going to here.
Like 11 inches?
10
10,
inches.
yeah.
10. So I need a piece 20 inches long.
Oh, that's long enough.
That's the bad boy.
You know, if you just continue that one cut, that'll.
I'm going to do it. Thanks for the help, Jimbo.
Well,
That's what I'm
I
going to do.
don't know if it's help, but it sometimes.
Sometimes people don't see
Sometimes,
stuff.
yes, it just. I can see something that you didn't see, so I mention it, and it makes it easier. But
Exactly. Let's cut this off. Finish cutting this.
don't cut your cord. Over at my mom's, she's got all these designer bushes in her backyard.
Designer bushes. What's
Yeah,
that? High-end stuff?
you use a trimmer on an extension cord, and you trim them to make them look the way you want them to do. Anyway, the cord
Designer
is
bushes.
green, and A green extension cord. Well, everything's green. You're there, you got goggles on, and you're just cutting away. And then all of a sudden the thing stops, and you cut the cord off. The cord's been cut off almost every time I've used it. And it doesn't really matter. It's like that buffing the car. The worst thing is the extension cord. The cord comes off the buffer. I had to wrap it around my neck, over my back, to keep it from rubbing on the panels while I'm buffing. Yeah. What a curse.
Yeah, I understand that.
Jeez. It gave me, there might be a little bit of a technique a person gets used to using that works for them, but I couldn't find it. I was more time stopped messing with the cord than I was actually buffing.
Alrighty. All I have to do is bend a straight. I'm going to have to make a mark so I can see the mark, because I don't know how far
measure up. Yeah, you can't see underneath.
Can't see how far I'm going down. Exactly. You said it, Jimbo. So I'm going to make a mark, and I'll cut everything off where I want it after. All I need is the bend. No. Inch and a half. It'd be nice just to get it. We'll do 1.5 inches. We'll do 1.5 inches. Just so I can see it on both ends. Try to make it close as I can.
Did you turn my mic on?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh Christ, we'd never
Kind
invite
of late in the video in case you didn't.
We invite you over and turn your mic off, Jim.
Sometimes I'm best not heard anyway.
That's
Seen,
not
but
true,
not
man.
heard.
That's not true.
Well,
We've got a nice little radius going on there.
I'm trying not to repeat myself.
Hey, listen.
I can't help but say stupid things, but I try not to repeat myself.
I would go easy on yourself. I would go very easy on yourself. And the reason I'm saying that is because this is not Judgment Day here. This is what you call, I'm going to do that. It's not judgment here, not for me and you it is, or not for me it isn't. If people want to judge us as we're doing this, we'll have to put the tape on them and show them the real, how they, you know what I mean? Like, if you want to do the video and cut it all up and make sure, I didn't like how I said that, and cut it or put it in fast time. Well, that's not who we are. We're trying to be, we're trying to show that everybody makes mistakes, and we're allowed to be who we are. We're allowed to be who we are. Simple as that. That's how I feel. Are we not? That's what I want to be. I want to be allowed to.
Well, it's like you said, you learn actually more from your mistakes than your successes.
There you go. What I'm doing here is I'm just trying to figure out, that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, your successes you already know.
Yeah.
Your failures is what tells you. So basically what I'm trying to figure out, I want to put this edge, see I got this nice round edge here. Now I can weld that to this. So I can weld that to this. I'm not going to make this corner yet. I'm going to do that after. But basically what I'm doing here is right now is trying to figure something out. That's basically what I'm going to do. I'm just going to shove that. I'm going to shove that in there like that. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to shove that in there like that.
Your top's going to go down over the edge of the console?
No, we're going to come down and meet the top of this.
Okay, yeah.
Hoping. And if I do not get it...
Because it could go down over and then just have your little pipe up in.
It could.
That way.
I'm going to put this on there, and I'm going to cut. See this right here? I'm just making that. I'm going to make that corner after. So we don't need any more. I just want to come where it's flat. I'll come right about there somewhere, I guess. And I'm just going to run it straight like this. And wherever it starts to lift up here, I'm going to cut it off because we're going to make that corner. So I'm just going to come in here, cut that off, and then I'm going to cut this off. And that's actually going to butt weld. I want to bring that over just a little bit. I'm going to leave the line. I don't want to cut the line. I'm going to actually come over a little bit further. Just 'cause I'm just want to come over a little bit further, I do.
Oh, that goes the whole length.
Yeah. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go over that fur.
There.
Just trying to get a little bit straighter. I'm going to leave the line and cut this off here, and that's for that side.
You're actually cutting it off just at the beginning of your bend.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to cut this off.
Oh, go the whole way.
What's that, Jimbo?
Well, you could have just kept going, but you don't have your line drawn there, so I guess.
I'm going to do, yeah, I could, what I'm going to do now is make another one. How's that, Jimbo?
There, yeah.
I'll make another one. Good call. Good call. Good
Oh,
call.
where's that third hand?
Huh? Good call. I can cut the line on this one. And the reason being is because the pattern's on this side of the line, so I can cut this line this time. Don't need to, but getting right into it now, and Jimbo, getting to do the tools and all that sort of stuff. I'll plug this back in. Ouch. Let's hold that there, clean that off. What's going through my brain right now, I don't know if the roll, when I add that roll on, if it's out far enough or in far enough. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
if it's not, well then I'll bend it a little bit. I'll just pull it
Oh,
out.
you just change your angle of your bend.
Yeah, just a little bit, you know. This is what I got going
Plus,
on.
I think you still have it a little bit long, so that gives you a little bit of adjustment.
I'll have to cut it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's basically what I'm saying. I don't know.
And you can flip it one way or the other in case you need adjustment.
There you go. And all that there is just so I do not. So basically, exactly what I'm saying. So we're going to cut we'll put that on there. I'm going to tack that on there. And then we'll cut and do, we can, what I'm trying to say is that I can bend this in a little bit or bend it out a little bit on this edge if I have to in the end, you know, basically. But I have to start somewhere. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the welder. I'm going to tack this side on and I'll tack the other side on. We'll set it on there. Then we'll cut it off to length so it's the right length. And then we'll start going from there. Then I can do more things with it. So I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to put it on where I think it needs to be. And that's just sitting there. I could tack, I'm going to tack that on, to be honest with you, just so it don't come off. And I can cut it off as soon as I'm done doing what I'm doing. Just a little tack. hit it. Oh yeah, beautiful. Oh yeah. Looks all right. So now that hold on there won't fall off on me. Just looking at it, that's all I'm doing is looking at it. I'm gonna put a little gap there. And the reason I put a little gap in it is for penetration. Just trying to pick it up so. You can see we're hung out there a little bit, but that's all right. We can make this bend go in a little bit further. Yes, we can. And the gap on that, we left a gap on that, so we do get penetration. We want penetration on what we're welding on this bad boy. And the reason we want penetration, I think I'm going to have to bring...
Especially when you have to grind it back.
Well, that's basically what I'm saying.
You know.
Now, what I'm seeing is that I have...
Looks good from here.
Yeah, what I'm seeing is this is going to be too wide. So I'm going to have to take it and bend it in a little bit, and I can do that, I guess. Why not? I'm just going to tack it on and go with it. That one's down too low. Make sure you cut it off if you're not happy. Cut it off if you're not happy. I want something to pry that up in there, I do. I want something. Just prying the metal up a little bit. You can see it come up there a little bit. Just want it up. I was a left-hander that time. Alrighty.
When you paint this car,
Yes.
like the different colors you're going to paint it,
Yeah.
if you put 3 to 4 coats and you do all your painting,
Yeah.
mask up and stuff, what's to say you don't sand it all down with 600 and then just put 3 or 4 coats of clear over everything and make it smooth all in one time, and then if you have to, you buff your clear.
I might do that.
You know, that way you get your ridge from your sanding gone with your fine sanding, and your actual paint job will be the clear at the end, all in one, covering all the different colors.
I might do that.
You know, but it's important that you put all your paint on enough coats in case you want to sand or anything.
I
But
agree.
you don't really have to paint, say, this salmon color again if you've got a good job, unless it doesn't match.
That's why I'm painting everything, you know.
You know, but if you paint all your different colors and then sand it down, put your clear on, isn't that the professional way of blending different colors together?
Well, there you go. I'm just going to mark. Yes, I can. I'm thinking about doing that, Jimbo. Actually.
On top, now, that's not saying that different panels aren't going to match where you're painting at different times. You might still have to paint things again.
Yeah.
But you still, in the end, may put a coat of clear over everything to smooth your edges.
Right on. You got it, Pontiac.
Like I see, like in the odd post, real custom, fancy, colorful paint jobs where I feel like masking up that Ferrari and going right to town. Know what I mean?
Cool. That'd be cool.
But
We would document that, wouldn't we, baby?
but anything worth looking at is a lot of work.
Did you
Know
see?
what I mean?
Did
Like
you see Janis Joplin's Porsche?
Yeah, like it's a lot of work to custom paint job things. Like it, you know, a lot of masking, a lot of paint.
What isn't a lot of work, man? What is not a lot of work?
Yeah.
This little cover on this console, you know, just kind of Just gonna iron it up from this. I can know where to cut it off because I can see right there at the corners, which is nice. So basically,
The way you're doing this is a lot more relaxing than the way I would have done it.
a little more relaxed mode.
Yeah.
So I have, this is what I have. I got a little bit of bend left here, and I'm going to get 2 corners out of it, and the back corners I'll have to make. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off on that side, cut that off on that side, push it in, and probably tack it to the round bar. Just tack it. Push it to the round bar so it doesn't go anywhere, and then I'll put the corners on, then it can now come out.
Yep.
So I'm going to turn the welder, I'm going to
And
tack.
then that's when you do all your welding and grinding and then take it off.
Probably, because it'll still be in
it'll
place.
give it a base to hold.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're handling it with, you have to do all your grinding with one hand.
Can you imagine trying to hold that?
Because that's the biggest problem with grinding is you're doing it with one hand.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to hold the grinder with 2 hands. If you can.
Very true.
But usually you can't. Most of the work you do is one hand.
I love my baby. I'm just going to tack this right here. Just a little tack.
Almost everything you do, you make it look really easy, even to people that have never done it. So everybody that watches, they become experts with never lifting a finger, doing any of this work.
Perfect.
Like I used to drive motorcycles like that, and people said, "Boy, you make that look some easy."
Let me try that thing.
Yeah.
Next thing you're in the rhubarb. I've got ear muffs here for you, Jimbo. If you want
I
ear muffs,
just go like this.
if you'd want ear muffs. We're pretty well in place. So basically what I'm going to do, we're out there a little bit, so I'm going to get a pair of C-clamps, make sure it's in place, and then we'll tack it. And then we'll tack it, and then we'll put the corners on, then it can't go anywhere. Basically is what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Don't know if I got C-clamps big enough or not. So it's a high-tech piece, but just...
In the past few days, I've had all kinds of ideas to make things right. In
what?
In the motor issues that we had to deal with and stuff. But now that a day has passed, I actually don't have anything to say.
That's good.
You know what I mean? Nothing. Everything just balanced itself out just the way it is.
I want to take and get that up just a little bit higher on that side, I think.
But I am trying not to repeat myself. But just saying that over and over is bad enough, isn't it?
You're allowed to do anything you want to, Jim. I'm not going to hold nothing against you, by not a damn thing. I enjoy every part of it. I'm just going to tack that there. You can see where it's nice and flush there. Flush there. I'm just going to tack it where it's flush for now. And then I can weld the corners up and it should stay in place. So we're just going to tack it. Just little ones, just baby ones, so I can cut them off. Just baby tacks. Beautiful. Ah. Sometimes that happens. We've got wire. Hoping that holds it. If it doesn't, I can do it again. Ah.
What's it doing?
I'm welding it. I'm getting too close, and I'm welding it, the
To
wire
itself.
to the end. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's my fault because of no helmet and that sort of stuff.
You were on a roll there, and now
Just trying to hold me up. That's all, Jimbo.
yeah. Oh, it just wants a little attention.
That's all. Just wants a little bit of attention. I want to cut that off, I do, or knock it off. There we go. All right. Now we're in place. Everything's good. A little tight up right there. I can knock a little bit off that after. But basically, the top is looking the way it's going to look. Once I put the corners in this and the corners down here, then the rest, it should stay where it lies. And I can weld it all up on that and the whole bit. I've got some corners right here. And basically why I do this sort of stuff is because it's easier to manipulate that little tiny corner up there to get that round piece out of that than it is to try to make a corner and shrink it, you know? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw. I can see that there. Let's do this. I want this shape. That shape's straight, so.
If you brought that square up into this panel a couple inches and bent it more, you could put all four in here.
I could. But I've got two now, so.
Yeah.
Basically what I want to do is right there. I only got one. Let's make one and see what happens, because I can always bend that bend again. Hold that. So I'm going to cut that down there a little bit further. That's hot. I actually don't mind it, actually. Let's bend this round. I'm going to get another pair of channel locks, and I'm just going to bend this round. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get two bends, or a concurve. I guess you guys call it a concurve. 2 bends. What do you call it when you get 2 bends in it? So it's flat. It's flat. Like I got this bend going up this way, no problem. But I haven't got this one yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this one here, just start bending it. Basic little thing I'm doing, just 2 pairs of pliers. I'm bending a shape in the corner of this thing. And why I say it's easier this way is because it comes up to a point on the top and there's less metal for it to. We're getting there. Slowly, we're getting there. Let's bend her some more. Alrighty, we're pretty close. I threw that marker down a couple times. This is where it's hard cutting these little tiny pieces, but
Yeah, that you could almost just use a little pair of sharp shears
I could.
for the small pieces.
I'm going to draw a line.
Safer than that grinder. Those,
Safer?
like the big pieces work good with the grinder, but those little pieces, they're pretty dangerous.
They are. There. And we're going to come down there. And we're cutting it off.
Wouldn't be bad if you stuck it in the vise, though.
Round.
So that's kind of what the vices are for.
Don't be like that.
You know, hold things so you can use 2 hands on the tool.
What if I throw a pair of vice grips on it? Would that make you feel better?
That's a better idea than your fingers.
I was going to use those channel locks, but a pair of vice grips would be better for this one. And I'm going to sand this. Well, I'll cut a little bit of it, but I'll sand most of it. We'll throw a pair of vice grips on it, and we'll place that corner in there. And the reason I'm doing it this way, because that little corner is easier to manipulate than all one piece.
Yeah, no, it's.
Mm-hmm. Sand this side
You
down.
definitely make it look easy.
It's not bad when it's when it's shutting down. Hang on a sec. It's hot, that's why I don't want to grab it. Yeah, it's hot. So we're gonna cut this piece and this, shake this side. And I'm gonna cut the end off. And then we'll have to tap it around a little bit, obviously. We can tap it off when we get it off, the cover off, but basically we'll get it. Don't really want to touch it, but we're getting closer. You see how that's going to fit in there. Basically, that's what's got to go on there. So we'll make 4 of those corners just like that. I can see I'm going to have to trim some more off the top. So basically, what's got to go on is where that, just trim some more off. Yow, it's hot. Well, I think we'll leave that on because you can trim that off after. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold that. Yeah, it's hot. And it should be, shouldn't it? Hitting it with the grinder. It should be hot. Take and knock this off. This is when I could take a little break and let it cool off, but seeing where we're doing the video, just keep kind of rocking here, just kind of keep rocking. Yow! So basically, you can see my corner that I got going on there. I'm going to tack that on there, and the reason being is because why not? Set it on there so you see how it fits, but fits good around there. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack it right down here on the corner. Because it fits. Get on there. I want to tack it where it fits. I don't want to tack it anywhere else other than where it fits. Oh, baby's throwing me gloves. Saying smarten up. Here we go. Here. Stop it. All right, we're tacked on there. This is what I'm going to do. Hammer. It's a dinky little piece, I know, but it deserves all the.
It takes a lot more time than everything else.
Well, this is the mini
yeah.
Austin I'm talking about. You know what I mean? The big pieces
detail.
go easy.
All detail, nothing but.
And I have 18 gauge here too, so I'm not going to mind. I'm not going to mind grinding the metal. I'm just going to go up here and zip this off. I'm just going to go. Get that to fit. I want to make sure that's on there. tuck that piece in there in the corner so it fits. I should have my helmet on. Just tacking it in there kind of ugly right now, but basically that corner's in there. That should hold everything in place. I've got to do one more. I got to do 3 more. Or what are we at? 120? I think that basically shows what I'm doing. I just got to go in. Actually, I might have another one right there. I got another bend right there. I can cut another triangle out of that piece. And then I'll do the exact same thing for the next corner. And I generally like doing it like this because this bend here, where it comes up to a point, when I bend this, when I get this shape going here and it comes up to a point and I try to bend this way, that the metal seems to allow me to do that because it's gathering where there's less metal up there, I guess, what I'm thinking. So I'm getting 2 shapes. I'm getting this shape and then I'm getting this shape out of that because I'm making it go in a pie shape. So I got to do each corner. And then basically what I'll do is I'll take my time with my air hose and weld it all up like the rest of it. And that will be the cover for my console. And basically what I'm thinking is, what am I thinking? 3 days. 3 days to make that. 3 days. And then you're going to be another, it would be at least a good 40-hour week to make it, fill it, and paint it. A good 40-hour week to make something.
Look at it though.
Yeah,
it's all
to
detail.
Yeah, to
and
make something like that. Well, it seems to.
Yeah.
And it fits. So basically, things from going from a day to whatever, you can obviously see how things climb and go forward and take a lot of time. That little piece, that's the mini Austin, and the big piece is the quarter panel on a car.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a difference going on there when you have to make them little small intricate
I like the
pieces.
way if the little piece sticks up, you just cut the seam a little bit so it drops down into place. It's an easy adjustment.
Yes.
It's
exactly when I tack it on there to get it in place. And I need that little bit of a gap, that 1/8 gap or 1/16 of a gap for penetration so it all stays together and comes out nice. But tomorrow, we'll be back. Tomorrow, will we not, sweetheart? We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow, and we will let you know, or maybe we won't, when things go off the air for a little while. We'll let you know. But anyways, Jolene looking amazing today. And I want to thank Jim for showing up today. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
You know what I mean? You've been a big part of our YouTube
I tried
station.
to keep a little more quiet.
Oh, stop your foolishness.
Yeah.
Stop your, listen.
I used to be worse.
Used to be worse?
Yeah, it's kind of like that saying, I used to be crazy, but I'm all right now.
I used to be a werewolf, but I'm okay now.
Yeah.
But no, I think you're just fine. You're perfect the way you are. Listen, it was an excitement day. Things were going on. Things were going through the brain. That's the way it is, you know. In the TV world, usually you would cut that out and you would make it perfect. That part could have been cut out, Jimbo, and we could have went on. You could have looked perfect for the rest of your life, like everybody else. Yeah. But that's not what we do here. I make mistakes. I drop engines, whatever. I cut things wrong. I make things wrong sometimes.
Well, I drove the Oldsmobile twice and had an accident both times. Now I know to have brakes before I do that stupid thing again.
Some of our best videos is when you were bumper carring with that Oldsmobile. That was some of the best videos we ever had. Like them will live on forever. But thanks very much for everybody for watching. That's how I'm going to make the cover for the console. Let's give away a hat or a shirt. Let's give her a hat or a shirt away. We're also, I'm thinking that we're going to talk to Henley, is it? What's his name, Henley? Maybe we can get a character of Jim on a shirt. I think everybody needs a character of Jim on their shirt.
That one guy on Facebook, his art pictures are pretty cool.
The one he did of me and Jolene?
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to get him to do one of you.
I've seen almost everything he does is cool. Like, basically, some things I don't even know what they are, but it's super cool.
Right on. All right, let's give away a hat or shirt. Let's give away a hat or shirt. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We appreciate it. Yeah, and that's how I would make a cover with 4 corners on it. I would try to take all the beaten pounding out of it, I guess, the most I can. And that's how I would do it. I'd make all my shapes and then apply them together with the welder. And then I would take and weld it on, do a good job that way. I would use an air hose so I don't warp anything and move around on it. Also, I'll leave it nailed down on the console because the cover won't take off anywhere. So I knock that cover off and weld the cover up, not on the console. The cover has a chance to get out of shape. So I'll leave it right on there. I might even tack it down in a few other places to make sure it stays in shape, because I can always knock it off the welder or the grinder, no problem. And then it'll be in shape when I'm all done welding it. That's probably the best thing to do. Start. How many comments, sweetheart? 593 comments. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. And those who get smart and write in more than one comment, well done. You get a chance to win a hat or shirt. That's as easy it is. Colette O'Donoghue? Yep. Colette O'Donoghue. Cool t-shirt. No shipping to Ireland? I'm not sure. No shipping? Yes.
No shipping. What's that mean?
Don't have to pay for shipping to Ireland?
I'm not sure, but we can ship there.
We can ship there, but we're not sure about the free ship. I'm sorry, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Obviously, you win it for nothing, so we're going to pay for it anyways. So anyways, you're wearing a hat or a shirt of your choice, and we appreciate everybody following and watching. Jimbo was here today. I want to thank him for coming for the 500th full day of YouTube. Jim's been a big part of it, and maybe we can get a character shirt done of Jimbo. I think everybody should have one. Signing off, and we will see you again tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.
Well, that went smooth.